Did you know your tomato plants can look perfectly healthy in June and be silently dying by the end of July? Not from a pest, not from disease, but from one small mistake you can't even see from above the soil. Imagine walking out to your garden on a warm July morning, coffee in hand, expecting baskets of ripe red tomatoes. And instead you find dropped flowers, leggy green vines, and ugly black spots creeping up from the bottom of your fruit. Sounds alarming, right? But here's the real kicker. Every single one of these 7 mistakes is completely reversible if you catch it right now. So let's dive into the 7 July tomato mistakes that are quietly destroying your harvest. Here's the big question every tomato grower is asking in July. I did everything right. I watered, I fed, I planted in full sun. So why are my plants failing now? The answer is simple. July is the month where the small invisible mistakes finally catch up with you. The heat turns up, the plants get bigger and hungrier, and the little habits that were harmless in spring suddenly start costing you your entire harvest. The good news, you don't need new plants, you don't need to start over. You just need to fix these 7 things, and I'll show you exactly how, one at a time. Number 3 is the one that surprises even experienced gardeners, so stick around for that one. First up, number 7, and it's the one everyone notices but almost nobody diagnoses correctly. You walk out and see a dark, sunken, leathery spot on the bottom of your tomatoes. That's blossom end rot. Now, here's what most people get wrong. They think it's a calcium deficiency in the soil. But usually, the calcium is already there. The real problem is inconsistent watering. When your soil swings from bone dry to soaking wet in the July heat, the plant can't move calcium up into the fruit. The nutrients in the ground, the plant just can't deliver it. The fix is consistency, not more calcium. Water deeply and on a schedule, the same amount, the same time, every couple of days. A soaker hose on a timer is the easiest way to take the guesswork out completely. Deep and steady beats a little bit every day. And honestly, once your watering evens out, the very next set of fruit usually comes in clean. This one fixes itself fast. Number 6. Take a look at your lower leaves. Are they yellowing, curling, or showing brown blotchy spots that seem to be climbing upward? That's early fungal blight, and July humidity is its best friend. Here's the real kicker. You might be causing it every time you water. When you spray water over the top of the plant, you soak the leaves, and wet leaves in the July heat are an open invitation for fungal spores to take hold. So water the soil, never the leaves. Aim low at the base of the plant. Water in the morning, so any splash dries fast in the sun. And clip off any leaves already touching the ground. That's where the trouble starts. Small change, big protection. Your future self will thank you in August. Number 5, and this one's about what you're not doing. Is your plant a giant, bushy jungle of leaves with surprisingly little fruit? Then you've never pruned your suckers. A sucker is that little shoot that grows in the V between the main stem and a branch. Left alone, everyone becomes a whole new stem, pulling energy away from the fruit you actually want. The plant spends all its strength growing leaves instead of tomatoes. Once a week, pinch out the small suckers with your fingers, or use clean bypass shears for the bigger ones. Focus your plant's energy up, not out. You want tomatoes, not a hedge. You'll be amazed how quickly the plant redirects that energy into ripening fruit. Number 4, beautiful deep green, lush plants, and hardly a tomato in sight. This is the heartbreaker, and it's almost always too much nitrogen. Nitrogen grows leaves, that's its job. But if you keep feeding a high nitrogen lawn-style fertilizer through the summer, you get a gorgeous green plant that has no reason to make fruit. It's living its best leafy life at your expense. Switch to a fertilizer that's lower in nitrogen and higher in phosphorus and potassium, the numbers that drive flowers and fruit. Look for a formula made specifically for tomatoes and feed on schedule, not by instinct. Quick question for you, drop it in the comments. How many tomato plants are you growing this year? I'm genuinely curious how big your July garden is. I read every single comment. Alright, number 3. This is the silent killer I promised you, and it's the one that fools even seasoned gardeners. Your plant looks healthy, it's flowering beautifully, and then the flowers just fall off. No fruit ever forms. You did nothing wrong that you can see, and that's exactly why it's so frustrating. Here's the big question. Why would a healthy flowering plant refuse to set fruit? The answer is heat. When July daytime temperatures climb past about 90 degrees and nights stay above the mid-70s, tomato pollen becomes sterile. The flower can't pollinate itself, so it simply drops. It's not a disease, it's not a pest. It's the temperature. And no amount of extra watering or feeding will fix it if you don't address the heat. So give your plants afternoon relief. A light shade cloth over the hottest part of the day, roughly 30% shade, drops the canopy temperature just enough for pollination to succeed. Keep your watering deep and consistent to help them cope with the stress. And here's the reassuring part. As soon as the extreme heat breaks, fruit set comes right back. Some gardeners even gently tap the flower clusters mid-morning to help pollination along. Be honest, did you know heat could do this? If mistake number 3 surprised you, let me know below. You are absolutely not alone on this one. Now, before we get to the top 2, let's talk about the missing element most people overlook when they're trying to rescue a struggling July garden: consistency. Every fix we've covered comes back to steady water and the right nutrients at the right time. And doing that by hand in this heat is tough. That's why I put together a free tomato rescue cheat sheet. It lays out the exact watering schedule, the fertilizer numbers to look for, and the July heat checklist, all on one page you can print and tape to your shed. It's linked right at the top of the description, completely free. And if you want to make the watering effortless, the soaker hose and the low nitrogen tomato feed I personally recommend are linked there too. I want to be transparent, these are affiliate links, so they support the channel at no extra cost to you, and I only ever link the tools I'd actually put in my own garden. The right setup doesn't just save your plants, it gives you your peaceful mornings back. Alright, now the top 2 mistakes. And number 1 is the one hiding in plain sight. Number 2, is your soil cracked and dry by afternoon no matter how much you water in the morning? Are your plants wilting by 3 p.m? You're probably skipping mulch. In July, bare soil bakes, the moisture you give in the morning evaporates by midday, and the soil temperature swings wildly, which stresses the roots and, remember, feeds right back into that blossom end rot from number 7. Bare soil is working against you all day long. Lay down 2 to 3 inches of straw or shredded leaf mulch around the base of every plant. It locks moisture in, keeps the root zone cool and steady, and smothers weeds that would compete for water. One afternoon of mulching pays you back all summer. It's the single easiest fix on this whole list, and one of the most powerful. And the number 1 July tomato mistake: overcrowding. If your plants are packed shoulder to shoulder, leaves tangled together with no space to breathe, this is quietly costing you the most fruit of all. When plants are crowded, air can't move between them. Humidity gets trapped, leaves stay damp, and disease spreads from plant to plant like wildfire. On top of that, they're all competing underground for the same water and nutrients, so everyone loses. It's the mistake that makes every other mistake worse. Give each plant room, ideally 2 to 3 feet of space. If they're already crowded this season, don't panic. Prune the inner leaves to open up airflow. Stake or cage them to grow up, and make a note to space them properly next year. Airflow is everything. Open your plants up and you'll cut disease and boost yield at the same time. That's the 1-2 punch to finish strong. And there you have it, the 7 July tomato mistakes that are silently destroying your harvest, and exactly how to reverse every one of them. Let's recap fast. Consistent watering, water the soil, not the leaves, prune your suckers, ease off the nitrogen, protect from the heat, mulch deeply, and give your plants room to breathe. Here's the truth. You haven't lost your season. You caught these in time, and that makes all the difference. Grab the free Tomato Rescue cheat sheet in the description so you've got every fix in one place. Tell me down in the comments, which mistake were you making? I read every single one, and I love hearing from you. If this helped, subscribe and hit the bell. New videos every Monday and Thursday to keep your garden thriving all season long. Until next time, stay positive and keep blooming.